Anthem of the Lonely by Nine Lashes from World Review 2012. Welcome back to Build Theory. I'm Aurian Archive, and we're picking up on my energy, or rather, Trap's energy defender. Now, the last time that I remember talking about this character, I think I had a perspective build being mapped up, but either I lost it or didn't actually save it, so kinda starting from scratch. We can see in our upper right hand corner that she has turned level 50. So we're going to go ahead and give it a shot of what our powers kind of look like right now, and also kind of some of the decisions that were made along. One of the things when you're making a build is to keep in mind that your selected vision of the character, how you think they might play, might not actually be how you would create them in a game. Uh, for example, in this case, the concept for Agent Zelly is really she is a spin-off of Agent Zelinder, an Arachnos agent who uses a mace, stealth, and has high resistances, high defenses. And the concept is that Agent Zelinder has left Arachnos. She's no longer allowed to use Arachnos technology. Arachnos will hunt her down if she uses her technology, so she's joined the Feline Foundation. The VLAN Foundation has helped her improve her experience with energy blast equipment and improve the devices that she carries. So it would be natural if you're having somebody else build your suit of armor, someone who already has advanced technology of their own. You would it would make sense to you would incorporate maneuverable features, such as you would make sure that you incorporate flight, or since she's using Mystic Flight with the runes active, Agent Zelly has talked to somebody or learned from somebody who's taught her how to fly using magic. But the powers that she actually has, some of them require being close to the ground. Some of them she can deploy from anywhere, but if we go up high enough, there's not actually a valid location to deploy her force field drone. She has to be close to the ground to use it. Acid mortar is another one where you've got to be close to the ground or touching it. And because of this, we kind of have to, although the concept might be she's never had flight before, she's always used power armor jump, because the powers that she has don't, many of them do not work with fly. We have to rethink how what travel power will the character use. And the thing we have to keep in mind is that it is very easy for Agent Zelly to outrun her force field drone. And we'll go over the powers, we'll do combat attributes, and we'll bring up defense. And as we run away from the drone, we can see that our defense drops. It's not a constant buff. So she's standing in the bubble, she gets decent amount of defense. If she's outside of the bubble, no defense. And it can take a second or two for the server to click over and register. So flight, as interesting a concept as it may have been for the character, is simply not something that's going to work. We have to think of a different travel power. Now, as Agent Zelrinder, she was very used to using power armor jump, provided by the Arachno Spider armor. And that may be since that's what she's familiar with. She's not really used to moving at high speed. She can't, she might be able to be fitted for a high speed armor. She might be able to learn teleport techniques. And that's another interesting question. Would teleportation be very useful to what she does? Can she get in close, set her traps, and get out? So the next step then is we have three different particular power sets that we can choose from. We can go with either Mighty Leap or Super Jump to retain the jumping that she's familiar with as an Arachnos operative, Or we can go with Speed of Sound, in which she acquires new abilities from the supergroup that she has joined. And they've provided her, because of her influence, her level, she's already got some experience. They have provided her with the tools and techniques and technologies that she needs in order to be able to warp around and use some form of teleportation. And that, as sorry, uh, track is switched to Living Deadbeat by Children of Bodom from 2005. It's actually a really good track. Anyways, so that's the immediate choice right here: is picking a travel power that complements the abilities that she has. We already know we've got some abilities we need to be on the ground. We got some abilities where it might be nice if she could teleport in unseen. But if we go with super speed, we do get hasten. She doesn't really have any powers that benefit from a higher recharge, because even with very little recharge right now, our seeker drones still have a 1 minute 20, 1 minute 30 recharge time, and I haven't started decreasing the recharge at all. And that's probably going to be the highest level power that she takes, and everything else, the triangle beacon, once we just start adding base bonuses, that's going to drop down. It's not a very useful power. Acid mortar, again, 1 minute 20, 1 minute 30. So once we start adding in recharge decreases, just basic ones, so she's not going to get a lot of mileage out of super speed itself or going down super speed for hasten. So right now we're going to focus on, I think, combat teleport. Take that for a 2-hit buff. And we're also going to possibly focus on Mighty Leap. And Mighty Leap, because then she gets a knockdown power. If she gets the mob, she can knock them down and get away. So that's our kind of current strategy right now, is we're looking at either Speed of Sound or Mighty Leap for the abilities that they bring. And if we go back, okay, first thing we're going to do before we actually start building the powers is we're going to get Agent Sully here to a reset point. And that is, we already know we have some incomplete powers. She's only been trained up to level 21. And we're just going to take random powers right now, because we're about to change all of these. And some of these will definitely not be in the final build. Yeah, this is the longest part. And we haven't yet unlocked the villain side powers, the patron powers, which, in order to actually get anything decent as far as a build goes, we're probably going to have to go do that first. '82nd all the way from Amaranth, from '82nd all the way 2022. Another really good track. Alright, there we are, level 50. And we do have a respec available, but uh, we're going to head to Pocket D first. I want King's Row. We're also going to use the opportunity to work on another badge. My Own Grave from As I Lay Dying, 2019. I might as well just list off the tracks that I'm listening to while I'm flying around doing nothing. Change my alignment. I'm going to go ahead and go straight Dirty Villain, and now be openly hated by the developers. Okay, and I'm pretty sure that I don't actually have. I don't. So we're actually going to go get a series of badges in a row here. Because we need to park while we work on a build. Alright. Okay, there's what I'm looking for. And we want Night Ward. Alright, there we go. And time 0, lock. Alright, and now we have the Oro portal. And depending on what server you're on, this particular release may actually be live. So I don't think I'm spoiling anything here. And something else that has to be remembered is that the force field generator is a temporary power. It does time out and does have to be resummoned. I know, weird, isn't it? Cimarera is now actually a full, complete zone. Good work to the devs who did this. And let's go ahead and bring up our Oro power, and we'll put ourselves into an Oro task force. And then go back and start working on the build. And we'll just grab you. And we'll go park someplace nice and pretty. Idle. Alright, environment. Alright. Meditating by a waterfall. Alright, now let's focus on our build witness. Alright, the one that I've brought up, actually just wanted to see the meditating by the waterfall. Alright, the one I brought up is the last energy build that I can track that I actually did. Sometime in 2020, uh, I made this build for a blaster. And the most recent traps build that I did is this one here, which is for Corruptor. As I said, I thought I had started working on a energy on an energy traps defender. I either lost a build, didn't save it, or didn't actually do much more on it. My plan right now is I'm going to kind of smash these two builds together. I'm going to start filling out the build based on the blaster attack patterns, because this gives me a pretty good idea of where I should be putting my attack powers, or the attack slotting, for uh, for the attack powers that I have. So let's bring up our in the middle build, and we'll put it over top of the. I'll bring it up so you can see what's going on. All right, and on the blaster, I was able to skip power bolt. I'm not going to be able to skip power bolt, so I'm going to need to take that. I did take energy torrent, power burst, sniper blast, aim, skip power push, did explosive blast, and did nova. Now, I already know from previous experience, and I've talked about this in previous posts, that overwhelming force will not completely mitigate a knock power. And run sniper blast up. So if you're using overwhelming force, you specifically want to put it on a power with low knock potential and use sudden acceleration on all powers with high knock potential. Alright, we'll start with Nova and we'll fill Nova in. Well, I'm probably going to need to change this up because the blaster got frozen aura, which was a good spot for the blaster ATO, chance for fire damage. Uh, the defenders, well, let's see. We'll come. We'll leave Nova alone for now, but we will slot in our sudden acceleration. Explosive blast. We can probably safely already say we're either going to be going for Ragnarok for the recharge, and since we need to mitigate that knock, we're probably not going to be going for artillery or bombardment or frozen blast at this point. Alright, sniper blast. And if you notice, I'm already plus 5ing the purples that I'm putting in. And power burst. Now I need to start thinking about my ATOs, in which one ATO gives me high AoE defense and the other ATO gives me recharge time. So right now I may be thinking about the chance for minor heal, Defender's Bastion, and Power Burst. And all right, now we'll start filling in our secondaries, since we kind of have those placed. We're probably thinking 41. We're probably going to need Scorpion Shield, and we're kind of iffy on everything else. We can probably go ahead and fill in Scorpion Shield with 3-slot Look at a Gambler. Proc, Defense Endurance, Recharge. And we probably also need to start thinking about our travel power, which in this case, we're still experimentation or force of will. Experimentation gives us the teleport inside and also gives us a potential heal and experimental injection, and also gives us a potential debuff with corrosive vial. Whereas Force of Will, we do get the travel power, we do get a debuff and we can resolve. And maybe if we could go deep enough, let's see, if we did Mighty Leap, we can resolve. We could theoretically get Unleashed Potential and have another Look at the Gambler proc. So right now, potentially, we've got 2 different ways to go there. And I also mentioned I won't teleport, so we're going to do teleportation and combat teleport. I'll move that to 2. Alright, we have this, our potential slottings in. And now let's swap around and have a look at our we're going to move this one down. Move you up top. There we go. All right. And let's bring you up top here. And on the corruptor traps, we took caltrops, which I'm probably going to skip unless I have no other choice. Triage beacon, acid mortar, force field generator, poison trap, seeker drones, and we did take trip mine. All right, can any of these take our ATOs? Yes, trip mine can take our ATO. Triage beacon only takes healing sets. So right now we're going to go ahead and fill this out with preventative medicine. Actually, I took triage beacon. I took Namina, I think, for the deep slot range. So assuming I'm still going for range defense, we'll go ahead and quasi-plan on that. All right, what are we looking like? Okay. Acid mortar. That's one of the places we had ATOs on the defender side. So this may be a good spot to do our PBAOE chance for absorb. So anyone who's standing near the acid mortar will benefit from the deep slot. This gives us pretty powerful AoE. Alright. And our seeker drones will take both single target ranged, and they'll also take our defender's bastion. So we'll kind of plan right now for our seeker drones, because they don't take one of the things I'm looking for, they don't take recharge intensive pets, and they do take single target damage, but we've already got Apocalypse accredited for, and we may be able to use Superior Winner's Bite, say in Power Bolt. And Seeker Drones, they don't have a knockback component, nor does Acid Mortar, so we can safely take these deep. Okay. And now for Power Bolt, we'll plan on and mitigate your knockback and Power Burst. Well, we just use Superior Winner Bite. We could use Thunder Strike in there. Right now, though, if we go with Overwhelming Force, a little bit more mileage out of Thunder Strike here. Alright, So for energy torrent, we'll go full and for we've already got that going. Pick up some recharge time there, but lose a lot. Yeah, I don't have a lot of great options. What was strip mine? PBOE. Poison trap. Hold. So we'll plan on and defense recharge, defense endurance recharge, mitigate the knockback. Got 2 slots to play with. Doesn't maximize damage. Okay, it does maximize damage, but we're not getting the bonus defense. Alright, we'll preemptively slot you. Baseless Gaze. Alright, now we'll see what we look like. Just on bonuses alone, we're not doing so hot. What are our totals on this? Alright, so our Corruptor was actually into range soft cap. So coming back here. 1, 2, 3. We'll go ahead and do kick, tough, weave. And kick, we will give that 2, turn that off. Defense endurance. Defense endurance recharge. Shield wall. Alright, I've got 4 slots to go. What are we looking like? Phew. Not really close to anything. Force field generator up. As long as I'm within force field generator, I'm actually doing okay. Force field generator gives me smashing, lethal, energy, negative, ranged, soft caps. So outside of force field generator, right now I kind of want to focus on trying to close that smashing lethal gap. Yeah, is there any good way to do that? One way is to use our... We could pick up combat jumping. And that means I only have to close 5. We're not close to closing our fire cold AoE, so I can gain a slot from here. Or, yeah. Go back to totals. Yeah. That gives me ranged. That gives me smashing lethal. But that gives me a single target. That puts me very, very close. But I'm out of... So if I'm out of powers that way. The easiest thing to do is just to drop combat teleport and take maneuvers, since I've got a slot free. Defense endurance. Excuse me. And with maneuvers, I'm actually there for smashing lethal. I still have 1 power left. Alright. But I've lost my teleport. So our quick reaction right now is we're going to go from force of will to experimentation. And speed of sound, experimental injection, corrosive vial. Alright. With maneuvers, I am still at smashing lethal. And I can do a... I'm not going to be able to close the ranged gap with the slots that I have for passive, but I'm still there inside a force field generator. Still got one slot left. So I could use to get adrenal booster. We'll do chance for hold. Immobilize endurance. We'll add a kismet to maneuvers. It gives me 2 slots for chance for fire damage. Accuracy damage recharge. And now if I can free up a slot, do windows, set some bonuses. I'm not capped on anything. So I still got adrenal booster. That only takes 2 hits. Don't have a hold or immobilize. Toxic Dart is minor lethal damage. So I'm going to swap our chance for knockdown for an accuracy damage. Yeah, because if I put a bunch of those down, I still can moonshot with them. Yeah. 2 hit buff recharge. Wait a second. Boost secondary effects. Okay, so we'll still kind of plan on adrenal booster, and we'll move combat jumping. Swap places combat jumping with poison trap. Maneuvers with aim. And we'll do slots enhancement, slots, auto range all slots. Okay, everything's lining up. And our totals are, we are soft capped to smashing lethal and energy. When we're inside force field, well, we're almost soft capped to fire cold. We are soft capped to melee ranged AoE and negative. So we're actually doing really good inside the bubble. So I think this is the build that we're going to go with. Now, okay. The other thing that I'm definitely missing here, and we're going to turn leadership off. We're going to look at concealment. We're going to do stealth. Same thing. Defense endurance recharge, Kismet, and down here in there's our sprint. We'll put a celerity. All right, now I check our totals. Our recovery. We're at 2.93 on 1.51 in drain. May have to go support to drop some of the uh, endurance costs. Incarnates, hybrid, support. Support radial, 1.41. Okay, kind of planning on support radial then, but I think we've got a pretty good build. That's interesting. Okay, with stealth, we actually drop below smash lethal soft cap by 0.5%. Is there any place I can free up a slot? Or just change slots? What does that look like? Oh, that was even worse. How is that even worse? I don't know, that was actually slightly better for 4.6 save versus. Is there anything in here that... No, there's not anything in there that does smash and lethal. What about you? That's AoE and ranged. That's ranged. Am I repeating on anything? Yeah, no, the obvious answer is turn on Agility Incarnate, which will definitely put me back into Smash Lethal. That gives me melee high, 2.5 low. Nope, that's not any better. It's like, yeah, I can just change stealth back to maneuvers. Or drop this. It's like I don't want to lose the full stealth. How much of this requires being? How many of these bonuses are actually? Only my ranged bonuses are. What's our endurance cost here? Our endurance cost is 0.2 per second. Endurance cost 0.2. 0.2. Oh, 0.33 base, 0.33 base, 0.33 base. And the easiest place really to free up a slot would be over here in tough. But that's 0.33 base as well. Just not coming. These are like, it's just 0.5%. There's got to be something. What am I coming up on? We're coming up on 54 minutes. So, running out of time. The whole thing is of going for something with teleport is to get in close and set up bombs or set off Nova before enemies know you're there. That only works if you can set up and get in close. Here's the other thing. I can just get there. Either that or plan on it being a level 50 build, but then That's the thing. If I had something that. Wait, can I just get there with weave? Yeah, I can get there just by having weave. Or there's another way I can play this, since the HP caps really aren't going to do me a whole lot of good. Let's take you from there. Okay, that does it. Alright, I lose the ability to have a heal on teammate, but I keep preventative medicine. And there we are, 57 minutes working through. I think I've got a completed build. So we'll cut it off here. This has been Aurian Archive, and I'll catch you later.